Man, another day in the stock market, man. Today we're gonna be telling you guys news and everything that you guys need to know. We got Apple coming down with some bad news. We got Nvidia's earnings coming out soon, and we got way more to talk about. To start, man, we got the heat map. We got Apple down almost 3%. We had some bad news. We're gonna just basically Trump kind of urging Apple to end the diversifying program, and some more bad news with Apple. We got Nvidia up 3%, anticipation with the earnings coming out. We're gonna be talking about a little bit more about that a little bit later, and some other stocks that are doing decent. We're doing okay in the stock market, but it's not as bad as yesterday. Let's just say that. The weekly, we're still kind of red for the weekly, especially Tesla. Look at Tesla down 17%. Tesla is still falling even today. I think we broke that 300 level. Now we're at 290, which is insane. I've been talking about Tesla a lot previously in the past couple of videos, but 290, I think we even got 285 to look at in the future. We also have Bitcoin. Bitcoin fell below that $85,000 level. With that being said, with Bitcoin, I do recommend looking at MSTR and Coinbase. We're going to be talking about that a little bit later when we get to the charts, tell you guys supports and resistance and some levels to look at, and maybe some potential plays to look at. With that being said, though, we do got some news coming out. So basically, we got Nvidia's earnings coming out. So basically, people are looking for a 75% year over year increase. Quarterly revenue of 38.4 billion around, for quarter four, and some other things too. So keep this one on your mind. This is going to happen in a few hours, and this is going to move the stock market overall. We do also have Alphabet cutting some staff in the cloud computing area. So keep that in mind, or their Google Cloud, basically. They're cutting employees in their cloud division. So keep that in mind. This might bring the stock down a little bit more. As you can see, we're down 2% right now. We also, just like I said before, we got Trump asking Apple to drop diversity policies after stockholders back pro DEI stance. With that being said, we did have Apple also, I think this happened yesterday. I think I talked about it a little bit yesterday, but they got the iPhone 16 ban lifted in Indonesia. And also, I think they're going to pay $1 billion to kind of help them out a little bit more too. They're not really benefiting. They don't want to make anything in Indonesia or anything like that. They're kind of just doing it to kind of benefit Indonesia, I guess, but to kind of show them how to make their own products, stuff like that. That's what I heard. We also have some news with tariffs. Trump kind of came out today saying that he's going to put 25% on Europe. That's kind of new to us. We knew there was going to be tariffs, but we didn't know it was going to be 25%. And the tariffs for Canada and Mexico got changed to April 1st, I believe. Or sorry. So Canada and Mexico go in full effect April 2nd. The dates kind of changed a little bit. I think it was supposed to be next month on the 6th. So we did kind of get that might make the market outlook a little bit better for investors. And also that 25% tariff is going to be on autos and others for Europe. So keep that in mind. Also, Trump also said that he wants to get as much land as possible back, as much land back as possible for Ukraine. I don't really know if that really affects the stock market, but that was said, so keep that in mind. But with that being said, talking about Nvidia's earnings, we're going to pull up the charts a little bit. But talking about Nvidia's earnings, what are we expecting? So basically afterwards, we have that earnings call, as you guys know. So what we're kind of expecting is what Jensen kind of talked about at the White House with Trump. They didn't just have drinks. The demand for AI overall and the orders that they kind of have, basically just demand overall. People want to know more in the Blackwell and any other chips that are being made. And they want to know more about the AI training and how it's going to be. And also with DeepSeek and stuff like that, they want to see if they're going to pull out that chip again, because the chip that they use in DeepSeek is cheaper. And then if you just combine it with some expensive chips, it can work kind of the same. So I think a lot of people are kind of anticipating this. The earnings are probably going to beat expectations, of course, but you're kind of expecting what all is going to happen. So keep that in mind. So, earnings is really going to move the stock market. SPY kind of went up a little bit at first. Everybody was like, oh, it's going to be a green market, and then boom, dropped a bunch. So keep that on your mind for SPY overall and the overall market. Another one that I wanted to talk about is Robinhood. Robinhood did have a little bit of a rebound overall with how they've been moving recently. We did have like a big buy. A lot of people was talking about it, and then we finally fell. But I've seen a lot of calls being put, so I wanted to check out the stock. And as you guys can see, we're kind of rebounding. We do have a red candle, so we might have rebounded a little bit, bounced off that $50 level, and then now we're probably going to bounce down even lower. So keep that on your mind. If you guys do want to get in, we might I want to see how it moves tomorrow. Just check that $50 level, get bounced above that $50 level. We're going to be looking at that 52 and then going up to that 54 and then going up to that 58 and then maybe even going up to highs. We still got some more levels to meet before getting there. So keep that in mind. Just like we talked about earlier, Apple has been falling a decent amount, especially on the 5-hour time frame. We kind of tried to make a little rebound, but then we didn't, and then we're selling off even more. We broke below that 240 level a little bit. So watch that 240 level. If we can make or break it, basically. We still have an hour left of market, so this isn't really a full estimate. I wanted to kind of make this video before NVIDIA earnings and maybe make a video after that. But with that being said, check out that 240 level. We might even break down lower than that because we do got some old levels to kind of meet. So first level to look at is that 237 level. Next one is that 235, and then going down to that 233 level and then that 230 level. So keep those on your mind if Apple keeps falling. But honestly, I think NVIDIA can kind of help Apple out a little bit if we look green. So keep that on your mind. Another thing is Bitcoin dropping below that $85,000 level. With that being said, we are at 83 now. So keep that on your mind. I think we do still got some levels to kind of meet. I said before I made a Bitcoin or crypto video overall of what all is going to happen and some price levels to look at. I do recommend looking at that 80,000 level first and then going down to that $74,000 level, $70,000 level, and then that $66,000 level down to the downside. But maybe NVIDIA can make a little push and help Bitcoin kind of hit a bottom. Another one I want to look at is XRP because XRP is kind of getting to that $2 level, that $2 range. I do want to look at that $2 range overall. And if we can break below that, I'm going to look at that 1.5, 1.2, and then all the way down to that 6 cent era. I don't think we'll get all the way down here, but honestly, a good buy level that I'm looking at is $1.05 and or around that $2 level. I might load up on it at $2, and depending on how crypto looks, if it looks bearish still, I might be a little bit more patient. But I'm not gonna load up all the way. I'm probably gonna load up like maybe 20% of what I want to put in XRP, and then if it keeps falling, just dollar cost average as it goes. Because over time it's going to come back. Everybody's seen with this rally, but at the same time, it's kind of the same thing as Bitcoin, how Bitcoin rallied up. You might get the pre-election levels and then it might maintain those levels. So honestly, I might wait a little bit longer, look at that 1.5 and then see if it keeps falling. And if it keeps on falling, I might just load up at around this range. And then if we get good news with crypto overall, it's probably going to move up, maybe make a 2x to 3x return. So keep XRP on your mind. But with that being said, with crypto overall and Bitcoin in general, MSTR and Coinbase are two good stocks to look at, especially if you play the option market. I'm big into options, so I try to look into these because you can make more money playing some option plays. You can probably play right now MSTR to the downside. With that being said, I do have some levels of like 220, 180. Honestly, 180 is going to be crazy, but 180 and then all the way down to that 117 if we don't make a move on Bitcoin. Another thing is IBIT. If you guys don't know what IBIT is basically an ETF that moves with Bitcoin exactly how Bitcoin moves. So right now we're at that $48 level. I do recommend if we do make a bounce, you can probably get like a $50 call or a $55 call. I recommend doing it a few weeks in advance because it might move a little slow, but you can also get put options while Bitcoin falls and make some money with that. With that being said, we do have Amazon. We got some news with Amazon. Amazon is indeed falling, but they did say that they want to get into AI, more into AI. They're introducing AI-powered Alexa Plus. Amazon is getting more into AI. And with that being said, they did have a previous deal with Intel, and it kind of brought Intel's price up today. A decent amount, but not too much. Honestly, we do still have a red candle for the 4-hour time frame, but we did have a decent push with Intel, just a little bit. Not too much, but you could have made a decent amount of money if you got in early. But with that being said, I don't think Intel is going to be pushing up anytime soon for a little bit, unless NVIDIA's earnings is good. So keep NVIDIA's earnings on your mind and on your radar. With that being said, let's do the overall market. So basically, the US stock market had mixed session today. The SPY edged lower by 0.14%, closing at 593.4. The Dow Jones slipped 0.50%, and then the NASDAQ gained 0.08%. So keep that on your mind for those. We got NVIDIA's earnings. We do have, okay, I forgot to mention this. This is one that I'm kind of hyped about. This is one that I'm actually in for the long term. My S doesn't work, but SMCI. So basically, SMCI, they basically recently came out with their late reportings. The deadline was yesterday, and they hit the deadline. Basically, as you guys can see, we spiked up a decent amount. I think 19%, which is insane. But their headlines filled its delayed annual report just ahead of the deadline, ensuring the compliance with the SEC financial reporting requirements. This move was well received by investors, propelling the stock surge by approximately 19%. The company's timely action has kind of had concerns about potential delisting and reflects its commitment to transparency and regulation. With that being said, you guys can read everything that they kind of put out, because that can really move the stock too. But a lot of people were hyped to see that they actually like basically had the like meant the compliance. So this is a long term that I'm in. This is a great stock to kind of look at because of the percentages that it goes up. It did have a decent amount of gains, and there's a lot of people hyping this stock up, especially for the long term. So this one stock that I'm in for the long term. I'm also into Intel just because of the potential it has. It's a high risk, high reward, long term stock, but it's one that I'm in. I don't really put too much in, but yeah. That being said, Tesla stock faced additional pressure, declining by 1.1% today. This follows a significant drop in its previous session. Basically, reports of decreasing vehicle registration in key markets such as Europe and the UK. Investors are closely monitoring Tesla's performance, metrics, and market demand, basically indicating the company's competitive in the electric vehicle area. With that being said, I think there was some news. I don't know if we can find it, but basically, I think the Model Y, they're doing the Model Y in Europe. I got that last night because I was actually in a Tesla call. I'm not even gonna lie, I was in a Tesla call, but it was short term. Okay, I made a decent amount of money off of it. But they basically had to test the Model Y in Europe. With that being said, if you guys look at the pre-market, I feel like it moves up during like after hours, basically when the stock's closed. But today we did have a decent drop. So if you do want to get into a put option, there is a level that I wrote down, but I forgot the level that I wrote down, but basically, it's meeting the level that I had previously, the 290 level around. So if we can break this 290 level, it can probably bounce down even more. I think every time it breaks a level, like I said yesterday, it's probably gonna break down and be like $5 to $10 in the money, or like in the like afterwards, basically. And that's kind of what we've seen today. It was kind of balancing around that 300 yesterday, and then today we kind of fluctuated around it. We broke down past it before, and then it retested it, and then it finally failed, and then we seen that $5 to $10 move. And then I think the same thing's probably going to happen with 290. We're probably going to test it a little bit, and then we're finally going to break down and probably get like 85 to 80, and then we're going to be doing the same thing downwards. This is going to be a slowly moving stock downwards unless we get horrible news, just like we got with this one right here, and they're just going to move down instantly. So keep Tesla on your mind to the downside. I do recommend being very, very patient. But with that being said, we do still have some decent levels, pre-market levels. I think we're about to hit pre-market levels. But with that being said, I do recommend the 290 is going to be a key level, and then the 270 is going to be a key level. And then after 270, we have a little bit more levels to look at, just like the 263 level. 263 is a decent level to look at. 250 level, and then down to that 230 level. So keep these levels on your mind of it going down. We have earnings the 29th of April, but we still got some time for that. Maybe it'll drop even more with the earnings. I'm not even gonna lie. But yeah. But with that being said, thanks for watching the video. Smash the like button, subscribe if you guys are new. And let me know if you guys have any questions. You guys can ask below. We also have a Discord you guys can join. I just refreshed the link. I think it was expired, so I apologize for that. Also, comment W if you watched until the end, and peace out.